Shuv Halacha Aleph. Hatova Tzfuna LaTzadikim. The great good which is hidden for the tzaddikim. Yichai Olam HaBo. It's the life of the world to come. The Achaim She'en Ben Mavis. It's a life which has no death imohen with it. V'Hatova She'en Imo Ra'ah. And it's the goodness which has no negative with it. So that's not in this world. That's after this world. Hu shekasu b'Torah. That's that which is said in Torah. L'mani tavloch v'arachto yamim. It should be good for you, and you're going to have long days. Mipia Shmuel lamdu. Yeah, they learned from. They have a tradition that l'mani tavloch l'olam shkula tov. When it's going to be good for you in the world, which is totally good, because this world can never totally be good. It can never be totally good. V'arachta yamim, and length of days, lo'am shkula oroch, because this world is never that long for people. Zeh Olam HaBo, so that is Olam HaBo. Schar HaTzadikim hu, what is the reward for tzadikim in that world? Sheyizku l'noam zeh, they're going to enjoy this pleasant state. V'yu b'tov hazu, and they're going to be in this, enjoy this goodness. Upiron on Rishoim, and the punishment. Literally, piron means we take what's due from the Rishoim. And fancy English word for that is retribution. So what's the piron for Rishoim? It is shelo yizku l'chaim elu. They won't merit this life. Eli karsu v'yamusu. They're going to be cut off and they're going to die. Now it's interesting idea, because if you ask me, I would have put first yamusu and then ikarsu. Because I would say first they die, and then they get cut off, right? Because that's they get cut. First they die physically, and then they get cut off spiritually. But the Rambam holds that, and most Kabbalists disagree with him. The Rambam holds that how it works is that the person is decreed that he dies forever, and then he dies. In other words, once you come up for Tchias HaMesim, which is when you're judged, you determine you should die, and then you cease to exist. Now, this is it's kind of like a pretty bad, pretty negative prediction. And most of the Mekubalim hold that there is no soul that completely ceases to exist. It might be taken a completely different form because the way he lived in this world was wicked, but it's going to still exist in some way, shape, or form. It's kind of like, according to the Mekubalim, according to the Kabbalists, there's the law of conservation of souls. All souls continue to exist. The question is what form they take. And Chazal give a metaphor for this. There's a metaphor in which they say that after 12 months in Gehenna, the souls of Rishoim are burnt up, and they become ashes underneath the legs of the tzaddikim.
So that means if you're a Russia but you're Jewish, would there be Tchias HaMesim?
Well, for Russia's Jewish, we assume that almost all of them have enough mitzvahs, some are enough to get to Olam HaBo. Now, again, the Rambam would disagree with that. But according to Mekubalim, according to the Kabbalists, any mitzvah you do gives you a certain degree of kedusha, and that kedusha cannot be fully rewarded in this world. If a person, according to the Kabbalists, a non-Jew, when they do a mitzvah, they don't become more kadosh. They might become better people, but they don't become more kadosh. And therefore, they can only get into Olam HaBo on the basis of their being good. So if they were not good... Yeah? For who?
Non-Jews.
Yes. It has to be, according to the Rambam at least. Because according to the Rambam, he holds everybody has to go for Tchias HaMesim.
Then why are all these things where like for Jews, when someone passes away, it's taken a lot more seriously, but it's in a different serious respect, because they will still come back. But in a non-Jews way, it's taken in a way that they never come back and they're gone forever.
Some people don't believe in the world to come. Unfortunately, there are Jewish people who don't believe in the world to come as well. So that's a problem. The non-Jews who do believe in the world to come are more, to a certain extent, not as respectful as Jews, but to a certain extent more respectful of the dead bodies than non-Jews don't believe in the world to come.
What about the people that burn their bodies? Would they still become?
They can still come back to the Tchias HaMesim, yes, because it's in Avera to want to decide that your body should be burned, but it's an avera. It's not something which means you won't get Olam HaBo, because if you have a lot,
it's a spiritual thing, Olam HaBo, and burning your body is a physical thing. So
that's for sure true according to the Rambam. But even according to those who argue the Rambam and hold Olam HaBo is a physical thing, just like people whose bodies were cremated in the Holocaust will come back to life, so too people whose bodies were cremated as a result of their. I'm sorry.
Never mind. It's not okay. Keep going.
Just so too people who made a mistake and said that their bodies should be cremated, they also can be Zochel Olam HaBo. Again, as long as they believe in the whole concept. According to Rambam, if they don't believe in the concept, they don't get it. But if they have to believe in the concept, then even if they get cremated, they can come back in the world to come. Okay? So the Rambam says that Komish Eno Zochel Chaim Elu Hu Ames She'eno Chai L'Olam El Nichras Berisho V'Avad Kibehema. Anybody who doesn't merit this eternal life, he dies and does not ever come back to life. In other words, even in a spiritual way, he's cut off in his wickedness, and he's lost like an animal, just like an. I'm sorry.
It's kares?
Yes, that's the Rambam learns that not every kares means you lose Olam HaBo. This is a kares in which a person loses Olam HaBo means they are destroyed completely. That soul is cut off. If you just commit one avera, which is kares, that's not going to get you lose your Olam HaBo. It has to be a consistent pattern in ways in which you make your soul so tome that it can't be brought back. It can't last forever. It simply doesn't have the kedusha or the goodness to last forever. I want to get back to that point which I started making before. Jews get to Olam HaBo on the basis of their kedusha, of their holiness. Non-Jews get to Olam HaBo on the basis of their goodness. Jews also can get to Olam HaBo on the basis of their goodness, but it's harder. It's easier to get to Olam HaBo on the basis of kedusha.
Why? Because we already have a way to do it, and if you're going to try and get it in a different way, then we're going to make it harder for you?
Well, not quite, but the mitzvah is similar, not quite, but more or less. A mitzvah, which a Jew does, gives his neshama kedusha. And that the kedusha remains in the neshama. A mitzvah that a non-Jew does, of their share mitzvahs, makes him a good person. And goodness can be erased by being bad. Kedusha is never erased. Chazal say, Ein avera mechabe mitzvah. A sin does not erase, an avera does not erase a mitzvah. But...
Oh, it's like the brick thing of the base mikdash.
Like the what?
You do a mitzvah, adds a brick. When you do an avera, it takes away a brick.
Isn't it like it takes two mitzvahs to make a brick and one avera to take away a brick? Something like that?
I don't know. It's good. It's a good marshal. It's not. Doesn't say anywhere that the averas take away bricks. Well, he says the mitzvahs put in bricks. What?
The mitzvah habab avera. It's like if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do a mitzvah, but the only reason I'm able to do this mitzvah is because I did an avera.
When you
steal a korban.
Well, you steal a carbon. That's a mitzvah above avera. So mitzvah above avera is not a mitzvah because it's.
Someone's sheep to use it as your carbon.
Yeah, that's a. It's not a mitzvah above avera. You get both the mitzvah and the avera. No, you just get the avera. There's no mitzvah. It's not a valid mitzvah. Okay, so then he says, Zel. I'm sorry.
Even the concept of it, if it's not even like we don't.
No, that's the idea. The idea is don't think you could do mitzvahs by doing averas. In other words, don't say there are people. If you say mitzvah above avera works, there are people who steal tefillin and put on tefillin because tefillin is very expensive. So let me steal them and put them on. That's what I have to tell you. Mitzvah above avera doesn't work.
What about the story where there's like a person that's stolen, were stolen, and then like this boy, he was in Israel, and then the boy was driving this Arab shuk, and he found the other bush tefillin, and he's like, then he put it on, he's like, where's the other arm? So would that be considered, when the other bush started putting it tefillin, would that be considered an avera? Because he stole it from the Arab, he got it for cheaper.
Well, the question is how an Arab got a hold of tefillin. The way I understand that story is that the Arab himself was selling stolen tefillin.
So then it wouldn't be a mitzvah haba ba'avera?
No, because he stole it himself.
Arabs aren't Jews. They're not obligated to wear tefillin.
No, I'm saying it's not a mitzvah haba ba'avera for the person that started wearing
For you to retrieve tefillin from somebody who stole it, or who got it from stolen property, is not considered min avera.
So what if the boy just lost it? Let's say he was driving and then he dropped it, and the guy's like, these look beautiful, and I know that Jews wear them. How about I sell it?
You're right. In that case, you would have to pay him. It would be tricking him to say, where's the other arm? Good point. If he found his lost object, and it was after Yeush, after the original owner gave up hope, so then it's his. You're right. It's a good point. Okay, so the Rambam says, Zeu kores haksuva Torah, Shnemar, he kores tikores hanefesh he, that's the soul which is cut off. Mipi hashmur lamdu, from our Jewish we understand that he kores bolam hazet, he kores bolam haba. Kores both in this world and the world to come. Klomar, meaning, Shos hanefesh, shepershim min haguf bolam hazet, that soul, even though it becomes spiritual when it leaves the body, it's separated from the body in this world, it doesn't merit the life of the world to come. It's also destroyed, cut off from Olam HaBo. So again, according to the Rambam, a person, it's not one avera a person does, which is kores, but if a person accumulates a lot of chiyuvei kores, eventually they cut off from Olam HaBo. Okay. Now the next halacha of the Rambam is a very controversial halacha. Many people are arguing on the Rambam, including the Ravid. The next halacha, the Rambam says, "So Olam HaBo ein bo guf ugevia." In Olam HaBo, there's no body or any physical form whatsoever. El nefashos hatzadikim below guf k'malachi hasharis. And the souls of the tzaddikim sit there without bodies, just like malachim have no bodies. The whole of ein bo gvil, since they don't have physical forms. Ein bo lo achila v'lo shesiya. There's no eating nor drinking. V'lo davar, and no other thing. Mikol advarim shegufos bnei adam tzrichim lehem b'olam hazeh, from all the things that people require in this world. V'lo yerad davar bo min advarim shema'arim begufos b'olam hazeh. So therefore, things which you happen or you do with your body in this world don't happen in the world to come. Going to yeshiva, such as sitting down, v'amida, standing up, v'shena, and sleeping, umisa, and death, v'etzev, and sadness, uschok, and happiness, and laughter, I should say, v'chayotze bohem. So the Rambam says in the world to come, you have not only no physical body and no physical functions, but also no emotional, no concept of emotion in the sense of being sad or not, or laughing. Now I should obviously there's a concept of simcha which exists, which is a happiness which is not the same thing as emotional exuberance or emotional depression. But the emotions a person experiences in this world, according to the Rambam, they don't experience in the world to come. Okay, so now this is the Ravid goes crazy about this. The Ravid says, here we have only the English, but you get the idea. This man's words are in my eyes nigh. That's a fancy English word. It means similar to such who assert that there is no resurrection to the body, but the souls alone. But by the life of my head, this was not the opinion of our sages. May their memory be blessed. Behold, they have said, the righteous are prepared to rise up in their garments. Deduct major from minor. In other words, you can learn this from a kal v'chomer. By comparison of a grain of wheat. The grain of wheat can come up and grow after it rots into a stalk of wheat. So too, how much more the tzaddikim can grow back into their life as fully physical human beings and Olam HaBo. And they left instructions to their children, saying, bury us not in either white or black garments, lest I be meritorious and be resurrected. When it says that people used to bury people in in light red shrouds. So it'd be kind of between white and black. So a person shouldn't say, oh, I'm confident I'm going to get up. And that would be white. And I'm sure a person should say, I'm sure I'm not going to get up. That would be black. So it's something in the middle.
Then why do people get buried in Talisa?
That was the minute back then. The minute of what you're buried in has changed over time. There's no set halach on that, so therefore it's changed. And yet again, they said they will rise in their deformities. In other words, any mum that they had when they died, they're going to come back with that mum. And whether they're blind or deaf or missing an arm or a leg, but then they're healed after they get back up. All of which is conclusive proof that the dead will arise with their bodies and remain alive. Nevertheless, it is possible that the Creator will set them in strong, healthy forms, as are the forms of angels. It's quite possible that the bodies are going to get in Olam HaBo are much better bodies, but they're bodies. And as is the form of Eliyahu, good memory. Eliyahu Hanavi has the form of an angel. When he's in Shemayim, he has a very superior body to what he has down here. When the garlands too will be literally and not naturally not similitude. In other words, it says that tzaddikim sit with crowns on their heads. Garlands are like crowns, and that is literal. You know, Chazal say that in Olam HaBo, so people eat from the livyasan, the giant fish, and the shor habar, the giant ox. So according to the Rambam, that's a metaphor. You don't actually eat anything. According to the Ravid, and according to almost everybody else, you will eat something. We're not sure what.
I thought the Leviathan's gonna be. I thought it's gonna be defeated by Mashiach.
I'm sorry? Which is Leviathan is going to be defeated?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. But the question is whether, according to the Rambam,
They're gonna cut it off.
according to the Rambam, it's a metaphor. Leviathan actually means, according to the Rambam, something like emotion. In other words, the emotions which lead people astray in this world, we've cut off just like the Yetzer Hara, and people no longer have that desire to do bad things. They don't learn, according to the Rambam, you can't learn anything like that, kipshuto. Nothing, because the world, according to the Rambam, the world becomes only spiritual, not physical. Now again, according to the Ravid, that's not true. According to the Ravid, we might be uplifted in a much higher physical state, but a physical state. Almost everybody agrees with the Ravid, and almost nobody agrees with the Rambam at this point. It's much more clear from Chazal, like the Rambam, or like the Ravid over the Rambam. But that leads us to an interesting question, which is, may someone believe like the Rambam if the most Rishonim and even Achronim disagree with the Rambam? And the answer is yes. You can, as long as you believe in Olam HaBo, it doesn't matter what shape you believe Olam HaBo is going to be, right? You can believe Olam HaBo is a giant roller coaster in which people go forever and ever and ever. And as long as you believe that there is an Olam HaBo, it doesn't matter that you believe it's a big roller coaster. Okay, you can believe that Olam HaBo is an all-you-can-eat buffet. That's okay too, as long as you believe there's an Olam HaBo. Okay, so that's what the shape of Olam HaBo is. Just like the Rambam said with Mashiach, we don't know what shape Olam HaBo is going to be for sure. So the most of Mashiach, how most of Mashiach is going to take place for sure. So to Olam HaBo, we don't know for sure what's going to happen. And we have these two major opinions. One of which is that it's a physical place, and the other that it is a spiritual place, right? So the Ravid, what upsets the Ravid perhaps more than the Rambam's description of the description of the of what Olam HaBo is like, is how does Tchias HaMesim fit into this picture? When are people brought back to life, right? So that's something which Rambam discusses elsewhere, not here. In the meantime, he stresses here, this world has no achila nor shasiya, nor eating or drinking, nor tashmish, nor any relations between man and woman. El tzadikim yoshvim, tzadikim sit vat roseim barosheim, which the Ravid referred to too, and he took it literally. The Rambam says, no, that Torah, that crown, is a mashal. They have a crown of wisdom. And they enjoy the radiance of the divine presence. In other words, there's this tremendous pleasure which comes with being connected to spirituality. Now, for most of us in this world, this is not particularly exciting because we don't see spirituality as being so exciting. But the Rambam is basically guaranteeing us that the pleasure of Olam HaBo, even though it's just spiritual, is much greater than any pleasure in this world. And that's the idea why Chazal gave a metaphor. It's like tzaddikim sitting with their crowns on their head and enjoying the radiance of the Shekhinah, in order we should have an understanding that it's a very special, big thing. So there's no body there because there is no eating and drinking. It says they say the tzaddikim are sitting there. It's like a riddle. It's like a metaphor. Klomar tzaddikim mitzuyim sham means tzaddikim will be there below Amo without any toil, uvelo yigia. I just lost my screen here. There it goes. Without any toil and without any without getting tired of it. Okay, not gonna work, not gonna get tired. That which it says the crowns on the head. Klomar das. They're gonna have great wisdom. She yadu, which they knew. Biglala yezkul chay Olam HaBo imohen. They had wisdom reign their lifetimes. That's the crown, and they're going to have the crown in the world to come. Okay, so now I think we're going to have to stop here because I have to run out to Mincha, and I'm going to be in touch with you. Tomorrow night we'll do Pirkei Avos regular, right? There's nothing.
Are we going to learn once we, after school?
Yes. Okay, so I think we're going to do is keep up with these 2 days unless these don't work. I'm going to send out emails about topics. Okay?
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
Okay, take care.